This is Quigg and Cassius for IFL TV. IFL TV.
Rolls off the tongue, that one, doesn't it?
Well, get used to it. This is Quigg and Cassius for IFL TV. We're at the final press conference for Brook and Zinchenko here in Sheffield. With me, I have promoter Eddie Hearn. I thought I'd get in it today. I hate it. I don't like them ones with iron in it.
It's Eddie Hearn from MSL, Matchroom Sport Limited.
We've had to change it.
What was behind the IFL?
We wanted to sort of
I
keep...
know it's iFilm London, but...
just wanted to shorten it for a start, and we wanted to keep it in keeping with iFilm London.
Was that a big... I mean, was that a big boardroom decision? Did you know...
Yeah, it involved a phone call to James at 3 o'clock in the morning, where James was like off his nut at a rave.
With a Capri Sun and a couple of onion rings.
Yeah. No, we've had to. I'll tell you why. It's quite plain and simple. iFilm is a registered trademark that was registered 10 years ago. Film London is also a registered trademark by the London Film Academy.
Go on, I'll take it. Go on. It's really interesting. People want to know this.
People actually do want to know this.
This is why it's a great opportunity for you, great platform.
It's my own platform. Joshua's sparring in the background.
Cool.
No, because you've got to be muggy now, haven't you? I listen to your bollocks 30 minutes every fucking press conference, do you know what I mean? I'll try and plug myself and explain to the viewers why we've changed their name, and you ain't even interested. Mug.
Thank you.
Matt Rich.
Go
on. Right, let's start with... no, do you know what? I'm not going to start with Brook and Zinchenko. I want to talk to you about your offer you made to Barry McGuigan and Carl Frampton. I haven't spoke to you about it. What's happening with that?
Nothing. We never heard back. I mean, I know some promoters come out and like to talk about the figures and stuff like that. We got made an offer 8 days before the fight against Parody by Frank Warren. For a small amount, the same amount they offered us before Scott Quigg was world champion. And I just said to Frank, look, I'd rather deal with Carl's manager and promoter, Barry McGuigan. So I went straight to Barry McGuigan and I made him an offer, which was considerably more, to fight in Manchester in March. And he said, look, we're not going to talk about any fights after the Parody. I said, well, we've just received an offer. Anyway, cut a long story short, we haven't heard anything. I mean, I know they're going to want to try and get the Kiko Martinez fight. It's a lot easier than Scott Quigg, but you know, people can't have a pop at Scott Quigg because we've made them a huge offer for the fight in Manchester. So if they really want the fight, there's no excuse not to take it. But again, I'm not going to get involved in the whole thing. I mean, look, both quality fighters, both see that, Dave, both lovely young blokes, but it's a huge offer for a world title. And people say, well, why not in Belfast? Because Odyssey holds 8,000, the MEN holds 21,000, and we'd fill it. So, but I'm sure the fight will happen. But, you know, don't give Quigg stick because we've made the huge offer for the world title, and if they want it, it's there. But they've got a plan. I think they'll have to fight a final eliminator for the IBF world title now, or they'll have to get Kiko, which will be a voluntary defence, which will probably come with options, or a rematch clause. But if we don't get Frampton, we'll fight Martinez, or we'll try. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. Either way, it's all very interesting. Good news for the super bantamweight division. It's not normally such a lucrative division. But the fact remains the biggest payday for both fighters is by fighting each other. And then other people say, well, can't you wait till they both become world champions? Well, how long's that going to take? You know.
Is there a channel issue here?
I don't know. Unless Frampton is under contract to fight exclusively on Box Nation and cannot fight on any other UK channel, then we've got a big problem because we've offered the most money and we're the champs. So Scott Quigg does not have to fight on Sky Sports. It's his chosen channel. It's our broadcast partner. But if the offer comes in to fight on another channel, we'll sit down. There's no restrictions. But again, I don't want to talk too much about it. I mean, look, you know. No, but I don't... people ask me about it all the time. And if I really wanted to make a fuss of it, I'd make a press release saying X amount offered. He's running scared. I don't believe he is. I believe Frampton wants to fight. I believe Quigg wants to fight. There's the offer. It's all gone quiet.
It's only been 6 days. Give it a little while, I suppose.
They don't want to fight Scott Quigg in Manchester on Sky Sports.
Did you watch the show in Belfast?
I caught up with some of the clips. I was out on Saturday. When we don't have a show, I try and have a rest. I saw clips of the show. Atmosphere, brilliant, as you'd expect from Belfast. I was privileged enough to do the show with Kiko Martinez, which probably had about 1,000 or so less in. Frampton's built into a huge name. Someone's done a great job with him over the past couple of years. Belfast fans are brilliant. I mean, you can't... I don't think... Glasgow's up there and it's very close, but Belfast, it looked like a brilliant atmosphere. Frampton looked good, as he always does, against a weak opponent. You can't deny that, but Frampton's a class act. I can't sit here and tell you he ain't. We're blessed to have two very talented super bantamweights, which makes a brilliant domestic fight. I hope it happens.
We all hope it happens. Brook, Sinchenko, when you first announced the fight, a few people slagged it off and said, oh, blah, blah, blah. As the fight's drawing nearer, I think those people's opinions are sort of a little bit changing. This ain't going to be an easy fight for Kell, is it?
You're a boxing fan, and despite some people believe you to be a village idiot, I don't, right? I respect your opinion. You watched that press conference, you saw his team here, you saw the one-on-ones and the face-off. What do you think?
They're coming here to win, 100%. And they think they are going to win.
Exactly. They think Kell Brook is overhyped. He's got weight issues. They're here. They don't come out of Ukraine often unless there's a sack full of cash and an opportunity. They did it against Hatton, and now they're doing it against Brook. And this is a must-win. No excuses. If Kell Brook does not win on Saturday night, he is bang in trouble. Bang in trouble. He has to win. And I'm telling you now, this is a tough, tough fight. This is an experienced fighter who's been in with quality fighters. He's been a world champion. He lost to Malignaggi. He lost on cuts, but was getting beat in a fight. Someone reminded me on Twitter, don't say he lost on cuts, but he did lose on a cut, but he was behind in the fight. He beat Hatton. He is a good fighter. And the difference is, he's here to win. He believes he can win. He has to win. That's Sinchenko. This is a fight for the number one position, to fight the winner of Porter and Alexander. They're here. They know they've got to get this win. This is going to be a brilliant fight. And I'm buzzing. And I'm nervous. And that's when I know it's a great fight.
Just explain to us this situation. Alexander fights Porter 30th of November. So the winner of that fight will face the winner of this fight in their next fight. Is that true?
Yeah, the rules are very simple with the IBF title, and people still on Twitter and stuff like that still don't understand, because it's a similar position to actually Kiko Martinez as well. When you make your mandatory defence, after that fight, you have 9 months until the next mandatory is called. Then you have 90 days to make that fight. Okay? You can make it sooner, but that's the time frame. So, for instance, Kiko Martinez will fight Matthew Bellew on December the 11th or whatever it is. In 9 months' time, he will have to fight his next mandatory within 90 days. So, in September 2014, the IBF will call a mandatory for Kiko Martinez. Then he'll have 90 days to fight. So, it could be in November, December next year. Could be in January, February. You have to have a final eliminator to get to that number one position, or not to get to number, but to be the mandatory. Okay, so like with Frampton wasn't a final eliminator. Frampton is not a mandatory to the winner of that fight. Kell Brook has had a final eliminator. He's fought Saldivia, okay, for the final eliminator. So, in answer to your question, Devon Alexander's last mandatory was against Lee Purdy in May. Okay, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. The next mandatory will be called. Then he has 90 days to fight the winner of Sinchenko against Brook. It can be sooner. We'd like it March, April. But we won't be able to take a fight after the mandatory's called. Neither fighter can take a fight after the mandatory's called. And of course, with what Kell's been through, we'll be putting maximum pressure on the IBF to say, we want this shot now. No exemptions, no unifications. It's got to happen.
So effectively, could you put Kell out before the mandatory's called?
Yes, we could. It all depends on the type of fight Kell Brook has on Saturday night. If it's a 12-round toughie, we may wait. If he demolishes Senchenko, I may look to get him out in February. But again, it's a risk every time because you get beat, you're Donald Ducked. Do you understand?
I do understand. I'm just clarifying it for
It's
people.
interesting. It's the whole thing is a big strategy game. It's a big chess game, and
This show, 9 fights on. Obviously, chief support is Brian Rose against Javier Marcial. Again, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Brian wins this fight. He's in a mandatory position for the WBO light middleweight title.
Absolutely. Pure 50-50 fight. Maciel is a very good fighter. Went 12 hard rounds with Dimitri Pirog as a middleweight. He bangs. He's not that difficult to work out. He comes forward in straight lines and likes to apply a lot of pressure. Brian's got to get on his jab. He's got to outbox him, but he's going to have Maciel in his face for 12 rounds. This is a pure 50-50 fight, as it should be, for a shot at the world title. The winner of Andrade against Martezan, which is coming up later this month. Maciel is a top-ranked fighter. Thank you to Bob Arum and Miguel Diaz and Carl Moretti. Great to work with them again. This is a wonderful, wonderful fight and wonderful opportunity for Brian Rose. We've manoeuvred him into this position, and now he's got the opportunity to make it happen. He has to win on Saturday night. Otherwise, he's back down to domestic and European level.
Anthony Joshua, obviously, after his explosive first-round defeat of Emmanuel Leo, 3 weeks later, back out again, and you want to get him back out a couple more times, don't you?
Yeah, it's all about learning. It's about fighting in different venues, experiencing different crowds, experience different changing rooms and staying in hotels. Paul Butlin, totally different kind of experience probably. Someone who's a lot more experienced than Leo. Someone that will probably come with a little bit more of a game plan. Might look to survive a little bit more. Might use his knowledge and his ring craft to frustrate Anthony. Joshua just thought he could win and came out and tried to swing away and got knocked out. But a perfect learning curve. And, I think we get him out here, then he tops the bill on the Prizefighter on November the 14th in London again. And just keep on cracking on. May box him on Froch Groves. May box him on the big December the 14th show in London. May take him to Germany to fight on the Barker Stern bill. But, I want to box him every 2, 3, 4 weeks while he's winning, while he's fresh, while he's healthy, and just keep on learning.
Return to action for Kell Brook. So he's back. He must be pleased with that because he was doing so well. Had to set back with his injury, and now he's back.
Yeah, I mean, he was the golden boy, wasn't he? Everyone was talking about him. Well, and then he'd done his biceps. It's a really bad injury, actually. He was out I think he's been out for 7 months. So it's been difficult for him, obviously, financially. And did you just let one go?
No, I didn't.
That's a floorboard. Yeah, I'm sitting here. I thought you just went, when you just sit back and just go.
I've got more class than to do that, Eddie.
Anyway, yeah, so Yafai, he's back. He's going to have a 6-rounder on Saturday. And then we've made the fight with Mike Robinson, and we'd like that to be for the English super flyweight title. And then I think he's ready to go. I think, I'd like to see him fight Paul Butler. Paul Butler's a brilliant young fighter. I think it's a great fight. They've met in the amateurs before. And that's a fight we'll be targeting definitely for 2014.
Callum Smith in against Ruben Acosta's fought for a world title, been with Stieglitz and Anthony Mundane. So it's a tough one for him.
It is. I mean, look, I'm putting Callum in that fight. I'm expecting him to win. A lot of people said that the step is too big for Callum. But, he's only had 8 fights. And 6 of those have been first-round knockouts. Acosta's probably had over 30 fights. Fought Mundine, fought Stieglitz. Went the distance with Alexander Brand. Knocked out the 2-time world champion Julio Cesar Vasquez in 2 rounds. He's dangerous. He's tough. But I just think Callum's a beast. I think he's too big, he's too strong. And this is a WBC international fight, you know, and a chance to move up the world rankings, because I think that's what we're going to do with Callum. You know, obviously his brother's British champion, Rocky's defending his Commonwealth title in November. I just think we're going to keep on plodding up these world rankings. And he's a different league, Callum Smith.
Okay.
I saw your interview with Buglioni yesterday.
Yeah.
Digging around, weren't you?
Digging for what?
You know what you do.
Did you make them an offer for Callum Smith to fight Frank Buglioni?
Yes.
I asked him about it.
He says he's on more money than that already. Blimey, must be getting a fortune. But I'll increase the offer. I'll double the offer. I might even treble it. But they're not going to fight Callum Smith. And I'm not saying that Frank Buglioni wouldn't. Of course he would. He's a fighter. He's a very talented young kid. But they know. People know. People know what we got in Callum Smith. It's damn good.
Okay. You were in Canada recently, press conference. You sort of didn't really tell anyone you was going to a press conference. You just sort of slipped.
Yeah, you know why? Because when it's not my show, I think you've got an obligation not to just come out and ruin everyone. You know, we're going to... No, because they hadn't announced it yet. So I don't want to say we're going to Quebec to announce the fight with Donald Stevenson November 30th. It's not my job. I'm not the promoter of the show. So, I wanted just to go out there low-key. It was great. It was in Montreal, Quebec. It's a long old trip, but surprised by the size difference between Toney and Stevenson. But it is what it is. Toney knows what he's got to do. It's a real tough fight, but it's for the green and gold, the WBC title. And you know what? It's a mandatory. Do you know what that means, Quigg?
No options.
Correct. In charge of your own destiny. Let's win this green and gold belt. Let's bring Hopkins over at Goodison Park. Let's fight cleverly again. I mean, you're in charge of your own destiny. Life-changing. And Toney knows that. This is the one that changes everything.
Do you know when you said you went to Quebec low-key? Does that involve a first-class ticket and a private jet?
No. I'll tell you the story. The promoter flew us out there, and I looked at the prices, and the business class flight price on that plane was obscene. Right? I spoke to Toney about it, and we went premium economy.
You slammed it in premium.
I ain't slumming it, you know. But I'm
6'5".
Every time I looked over at Toney and his trainer, they were sound asleep, and I was just itching away. End up going to sleep like that, like you in the motor. But you know, I'm a promoter myself. If I would have turned around and gone, no, we insist on coming business class, it was like $12,000 each or something. You know, if it was 11,000, we might have changed our mind. But you know, that extra grand killed us. But
rather have the money, wouldn't I? Just rather have said
put us in. Do you know what? If someone said to me, you can go business class or economy, but I'll give you 500 quid if you go economy, I'll probably take the economy.
What, have the 500 quid?
Yeah. I'm old school, mate. I love a pound note.
I don't believe that for 1 second. Not for 500 quid.
No, but
someone said like a couple of bags.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100. But I don't. You know, there's nothing wrong with economy or print. But when you're 6'5" and 17 stone, you got an arse the size of mine. You need those bigger seats. I mean, what's going to happen when we're travelling with a big man, the Don? Anthony Joshua.
He told me that he wants business only.
Anthony Joshua ain't going premium economy. I know what he's all about. Do you know what I mean? Him and his mates, he'd have an entourage of 12 people. He's got his mate. What's your mate's name? What's that geezer? Leon. Skins. Sir Skins. Fucking hell, they swan around like it's fucking P. Diddy and Jay-Z. Do you know what I mean? Fucking leather sofas. The last show, he comes up to me after the XL. A lot of people don't know this about Anthony Joshua. I said, what did you think of the experience? He went, it was great, but I was disappointed there was no cream sofas in my dressing room. I said, what? Cream sofas? You know, but listen, I like to make sure that our team always travel in style. Everyone's looked after. Everyone feels like $1 million. But you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And you know what? We're the challenger in that fight. When we're the champs, we'll probably hire our own jet. But you got to live like a challenger all the time. And you know, like I said to Toney, you win this fight against Adonis Stevenson, mate. Everything changes. Everything changes, and it's what he wants. You know, and he can do it. He can do it.
A crisp debate.
It's gone mad, isn't it?
10,000 views about crisps. Because it was just about crisps, wasn't it? Yeah. No one really picked up on any boxing talk.
People have been sending me pictures of crisps saying, what do you think about this one? You know, I had a bag of squares this morning sent to me. These any good? I was going to reply just underrated, because they are underrated, squares. I have to give a thank out to Porky Russ, actually, because after that interview about crisps and pork scratchings, he sent me some Naga chili pork scratchings, right? My arsehole has never been on fire so bad. I'm not being funny. These things, they were so tasty. And you eat them, and you go, oh, they are lovely. And you give it that one. Mate, they were so hot. I got them in the cupboard still. I'll bring them in. But Porky Russ sent me a big bag of them after the crisp debate. Anyone who wants to send crisps to the office is more than welcome.
What else can they send?
Money. Money for tickets. No, I mean, Haribos. I've had a couple of bags of Haribos at the weigh-ins. People have come up and given me those.
No one gives me fuck all.
Well, you're big time,
Apart from you.
IFL.
Apart from you.
IFL sounds like a firm.
We are.
Do you know what I mean?
We
Like,
are. We're a two-man firm, me and Helder.
It's like football hooligans, part of the IFL, aren't I?
Are you part of the IFL?
I think I am, aren't
When you're sitting in the chair, you are part of the IFL. He interviewed me earlier.
I? Did he?
He swung it round at me. Not low. Not get off my train from Ghost. Low. Yeah, he interviewed me earlier on.
The Don. Joshua the Don.
Yeah.
Is that the new nickname? No.
AJ Promotions. He only.
Wait,
he just told me. Listen, I'll just tell you. He said to me, right, he wants to get to like 6-7 fights, and then basically give you that.
Listen, mate, I know how it works. I know how it works. You know, I know how it works because he said to me in the office about 3 months ago, "Tell me how it all works." You know, this promotional business. I thought, yeah, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you. I know. I went, just fight and train, and let us take care of everything else. The amount of fighters I've seen fuck it all up trying to get involved in the business, mate. You fight, I'll get you the money. Simples.
Pretty straightforward. All right, well, listen, looking forward to Sheffield.
Can't wait, mate.
I was only, where was I? York Hall last week.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
York Hall?
Why did you go like that?
No, I'm trying to think of where I was before York Hall. I couldn't think of where.
No, 02.
Oh, 02, yeah.
Yeah. This is a great bill, you know. I mean, I love coming to Sheffield. We haven't been here for a year. Wait till Kanye West and Rihanna kick out all the lights, mate. I've got a new one for you, Josh, and all. Holy Grail. Jay-Z and Justin. I think I've got a little version we're working on for that.
Just can't crack my code.
Yeah, that one.
Powerful.
Yeah. Yeah,
That'd be
okay.
big time if you got one of these actual singers to actually walk one of your fighters out.
One day. What's the Don, isn't it? You know.
He's had a haircut, I know.
Yeah, he's had a haircut.
Yeah, he's sponsoring me no money, yeah.
What? Listen, you're an Olympic gold medalist who's just turned professional with Matchroom. You're asking me for money. What's the fuck's wrong with you?
Exactly, that's what we like, Josh. Live poor, mate. Live poor.
From London, IFL, you seem to have made a step up.
Exactly. Listen, IFL, I think they're going to float. Talking about floating. Everyone's floating at the minute.
I'm straight in there. I'll be too
This should be an interesting fucking drive home, doesn't it? Lol, me.
It won't
you.
be interesting because you'll just be your usual.
sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, you'll be on the phone making fucking deals, isn't you?
That's what I do, mate.
It's the way for the IFL shirt.
I've never known anyone who consistently goes to sleep like you like that. Because you get in a car.
Oh, like, listen, every time it's always like an 8 o'clock call in the morning, right? So I'm there. Obviously, I'm grateful for your lift, 100%. But I've gone to bed at 3 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Don't fuck about.
You should knock the brass in on you, shouldn't you?
He's like, my missus was.
What about brassing? Huh? What about brassing? Do you want to talk about brasses now, dear? Do you really want to talk about brasses? Some of your mates told me some things when you were at Shenfield High.
Shit, I wasn't even at Shenfield High, you mug.
You was at Shenfield.
I wasn't.
Hutton High.
I wasn't even at Hearn High.
Brentwood High.
I wasn't at Brentwood High either.
What one was you at then?
None of your fucking business.
St Martin's.
No.
It was, wasn't it? St Martin's. It was obviously private.
Was for a little while, but I got kicked out of there.
Oh yeah. The drugs, the guns, and the holes.
yeah. I'll tell you what, mate, it was rough at that private school I went to. Fucking hell, one day I took a pencil sharpener and they slung me out. It was unbelievable.
Right, Eddie Hearn, unless you've got anything to say,
No.
don't need to sell your show. A few tickets on the door, you might have to.
Few tickets on the door, very limited. 40s and 60s are very limited. We'll have about 7,000 or 8,000 in there. The atmosphere is going to be wicked. 5.5 hours live on Sky. 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. You can catch Scott Jenkins. Then the Yafai is back. Cal Yafai back in action, 6-3s, followed by a WBC international title, one of the fast rising stars of British boxing, young Callum Smith, 8-0 with 6 first-round knockouts. He's taking on the tough Argentinian Ruben Acosta. He's been in with Stieglitz. He's been in with Mundine. He's even knocked out the 2-time WBA light middleweight king, Julio Cesar Vasquez. Then we switch over to Sky Sports 1. Young Adam Etches sold about 900 tickets for this fight. He's defending his IBF Youth Super Middleweight title. Then back up, Brian Rose against Javier Maciel, pure 50-50, a final eliminator for the WBO Light Middleweight Championship of the World to fight the winner of Andrade against Marto Cezanne. That is a must-win fight, everything on the line. And then, the Big Don, Anthony Joshua, makes his way, the second professional fight after dismantling 8-0 Emanuele Leo at the O2 Arena. Everybody wants to see the Don. Everyone's talking about the Don. Everyone wants to be a part of the Don's journey. Anthony Joshua in with Paul Butlin, a nice little step up, and then before he heads another show in Prizefighter on November the 14th, the special one. Kell Brook takes on Vyacheslav Senchenko, a must-win. Kell Brook's going to show the world why they call him the special one. He is ready. He is born to do this. The crowd are going to go mad. All of the lights. Let's hear it one more time. And clearly you want to ask me a question about Prizefighter now.
James Toney, what's going on?
Listen,
James Lights Out Toney.
the response has been incredible. It's nearly sold out already. Some people moan. It's Prizefighter. It's not the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. It is what it is. It does what it says on a tin. It is a new format. Obviously, it's a 20-odd edition, but it's a different format. 3 3-minute rounds. We've pulled it forward to a Thursday night. It's entertainment. We're in the entertainment business. People want to see James Toney. It's UK versus USA. James Toney, Sherman the Tank Williams, Sam Sexton, Larry Olubamu. You know, it's show business, baby.
Joshua
headlining.
Benny Boy.
His cousin Benny Yamey also on the bill. You know, and then we've got to think about what we're going to do. Do we put him on the Carl Frott show? Do we box him on our big show on December the 14th? Do we take him out to Germany for Barker Sturm? The options are endless. Damn, it must be good to be a matchroom fighter.
That's what it's about, though.
All right. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV TM.
Rolls off the tongue. No.
What does that say?
Right, call for Eddie Hearn. We've got to go. Let's go.
All right.